Supracondylar fracture of the humerus. If the shaft of the humerus breaks at this point, it is called the supracondylar fracture of the humerus. It is most common fracture in the children around the elbow, and it occurs when they fall on the outstretched hand. It can be divided into flexion or extension types. When the broken part bends anteriorly, then it is called flexion, and when it bends posteriorly, then it is called the extension type, and the extension is the most common type of this fracture. The extension type is further divided into the three types. Type 1, bone is fractured but it is undisplaced. Treatment is done by the conservative management, and protection is provided by collar and cuff or back slap for 3 weeks, and then progressive immobilization is done. In type 2, bone is broken and displaced, but the posterior or dorsal periosteum remains intact. Treatment is done by the reduction, which is the closed reduction, and above elbow fixation for 4 to 6 weeks. In type 3, bone is fractured, displaced, and posterior periosteal lining or hinge is broken. There is complete displacement with overlapping of the fragments. Treatment is done by the percutaneous KYs are used. Percutaneous KYs are used to hold the fracture, and which is supplemented with an above elbow cast. Fractures are reduced by traction and manipulation under anesthesia is done. If the closed reduction is failed, then open reduction is done, and open reduction is also done if there is the risk of vascular injury. Now, complications of the supracondylar fracture. First of all, vascular injuries, in which the most commonly brachial artery is involved. Here is the brachial artery. When it is get injured at the supracondylar region in the supracondylar fractures, the most common the most threatening complication of the obstruction of the brachial artery in the children is Volkmann's ischemic contracture, in which the permanent shortening of the shortening or contracture of the forearm muscles is done, and there is a claw-like deformity of the hands, fingers, and wrist, and it is caused by the obstruction of the brachial artery near the elbow due to the improper use of the tourniquet, cast, or maybe due to the compartment syndrome. All these conditions causes excessive pressure on the brachial artery, which causes its obstruction, and due to the ischemia, contractures develop in the muscles. Then neurovascular injury. Neurovascular injury could be done, and if there is white pulseless hand, it indicates a surgical emergency and it requires emergent reduction, and if pulse does not return with reduction, vessels should be explored by a trained surgeon. Then if there is the pink pulseless hand on presentation, it is more controversial and requires early senior decision making, and rule out compartment syndrome and neurological injury. If both of these are not present and there is satisfactory perfusion of the limb, then reduction and stabilization of the fracture is done. Pulse will be returned within the 24 to 48 hours. Neurological injury is common, and most often neuropyrexia is done, develops, which often results on fracture reduction, stabilization, and resolution of swelling. There would be the injury of ulnar nerve and median nerve and radial nerve. There could be the non-union of the fractures, and fourth complication could be the malunion, and it results in the varus and valgus deformity. If adequate reduction is done and KYs are used properly, then these angular malunion can be avoided.